What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So I decided to take this day to basically just bring up some things that people forget and that people overlook and falsehoods. And I have receipts just right here in my archives alone. You know, I'm a content creator. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a boy at all. I'm a grown ass man, and I don't cheerlead for any fighter. That's fanboys' jobs. What I do is look at the logic and the reason, the understanding of what happened and why it happened. And I'm not going to speak on something if I don't know. If I'm not sure, I'll tell you. I'm not sure. Now, a couple of things I want to bring up. Okay. Excuses are nothing but excuses, and they are useless. I give you an example to lead up to more current, just a few examples. I remember Ernie Shavers, he made the comment that when he lost to Larry Holmes, he was injured, he wasn't healthy, he wasn't 100%. He managed to knock Larry Holmes down in that fight, but he lost. Now he gets a rematch. What does he say? I'm 100%. I'm ready to rock and roll. And Larry's going to see. I'm going to show him it's going to be different this time. What happens? Larry Holmes beats him again. Pernell Whitaker, he fights Buddy McGirt. Okay? So James Buddy McGirt gets beat in the first fight against Pernell. My shoulder. Yeah, my shoulder wasn't right. I couldn't throw the punches the way I wanted, man. Yeah, it was my shoulder. If I was healthy, I'd have beat Pernell. He gets his rematch. My shoulder's better. Everything's good now. I'm ready. Pernell's going to see. I'm going to show the world that, I'm not taking nothing from Pernell. He's a great fighter, but, I wasn't 100%. What happens in the rematch? He gets beat worse. Now that he's 100%, he gets beat even worse in the rematch. Okay? We can go on. And we can go on and on about excuses that people make. I'm going to tell you, the difference with those situations is there was no huge outrage about the outcome and who did what. There was no social media at the time. So pretty much people didn't make a big thing about it. Example, the comment sections of different channels with the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight. You read comments and people was, oh, well, no, what was the refs watching? Oh, Serrano was throwing punches, but she wasn't landing all those punches and all this stuff, and Katie Taylor was robbed, blah, blah, blah. But it happened on the same day as Haney and Lomachenko. So basically, Haney and Lomachenko, their situation overshadowed Katie Taylor and Serrano by far. And that was the talk. That was everything. This wasn't just about two fighters and people felt some kind of way. It was racial bullshit and all kinds of nonsense attached to Haney versus Lomachenko. Plain and simple. Catterall gets robbed against Josh Taylor, right? He doesn't get the decision. And what happens? They made a big stink about it. But was racism involved? Did you hear a bunch of slurs, racial slurs, and people saying, oh, the only people that said that, Josh Taylor won just didn't want the white guy to win and all that? No, it wasn't none of that. Okay, none of that. Excuses. I saw Bernard Hopkins get knocked out of a ring. Okay, we all saw him get punched in the face, fly out the ring, lied and pretended and said he got pushed. When we all could see, no, you wasn't pushed, Bernard. You were punched in the face. And I watched him fall back. Worst case scenario, okay, if he's going to make up a lie, he should have pretended that he hit his head on the floor. I mean, he went back. I don't think anybody had a camera back there to show if his head hit the floor or not, but he said it was his ankle. And I watched his legs go straight up in the air and him go straight back. So how he twisted his ankle is beyond me. Now, if he twisted his ankle, let's just say getting punched and turning a certain way, whatever. He was sitting there with ice on his ankle. He never showed his ankle. So do we know that his ankle was swollen? Not to mention, you get a 20 count when you get knocked out of the ring. He stood there the whole time with his back to the ring, was completely ignoring the referee, had no intentions on trying to make it back into that ring. So even when he was vocal about Ryan Garcia not continuing from the body shot, okay, with Tank Davis, like, saying, well, those things happen. He didn't really want to get into it. But people asking him the question, well, but do you think he could have continued? And he tried to dance around it. You understand what I mean? But he was vocal about the fact that they're proud of Ryan. Ryan did this, he did that. Now, if you put shoe on the other foot and Ryan stopped Tank with a body shot, you don't think that Bernard Hopkins would have said, listen, he could have got up. What happened was Ryan Garcia broke his will and he was afraid to continue because if he would have got up, I believe he felt pain. Yeah. I don't think he pretended he was hurt, but he pretended he couldn't get up. He took the knee on purpose. Then you heard his trainer in the corner ask him, hey, did he hit you in that rib area? And you heard Tank say, yeah, that's why I didn't want to continue. He hit me there. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. You don't think that they would have attacked that? It's always, if one guy says it and the opposing team is saying one thing, if they were over here, they'd be saying the same thing for this person against that person. That's common sense. And that was Joe Goosen asking Ryan, and everybody could see Ryan could have got up. Now, again, if he would have been able to defend himself properly, would have been the question of anything. But could he have gotten up? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he stood up right after the count. He could have gotten up. You seen him, even as Tank was coming forward, he kind of lunged up, he nudged up, and he like shook his head at Tank like he's telling he's not getting up. So Bernard Hopkins would have said that. But we can go back to Bernard and say, well, Bernard, you got knocked out the ring and pretended your ankle was hurt. You didn't try to get back in there and try to still fight. We saw David Haye with the torn Achilles tendon try to fight back against Tony Bellew. He didn't give up. The ref stopped it. Okay. So to make excuses about different situations doesn't change the outcome. Now, a couple of things. We can talk about Teofimo Lopez shaking the hand of Bill Haney, promising him that him and Devin was going to get it on next. We can talk about Bob Arum shaking the hand of Teofimo Lopez Sr., promising that will be the next fight. And this is Team Lopez making these promises to these two individuals. Then we can also talk about how he was being interviewed and said that everything was set up for Devin Haney to win. So even going to Australia, to this man's country, fighting under his bullshit stipulations, and him getting the less of the money, even though win, lose, or draw, that the loser still gets the money, and he took those bullshit stipulations. But it was set up somehow for Devin Haney to win. But you heard him say, the zone knew what I was getting ready to do. I was about to drop the belts and go up to 140, which means he never had any intentions on fulfilling these promises that he made. These things I've covered before, but you got to bring it back at times because people, they want to twist something to be something completely different from what it actually was. So he lied. Teofimo Lopez basically just recently made a comment about how he wanted to kill Josh Taylor in the ring and how nobody wished him well and cared about him when he almost died in the ICU. But when he fought against Lomachenko, and Lomachenko was sent up there in the hospital bed with thumbs up, or whatever it was, with the arm all bandaged up, he said he don't want to hear that. It's an excuse, right? Then he loses to Kambosos and does the same exact thing. Take the picture and show him with the mask on his face and all, and it's like, okay. Now, everybody that I just named has a fan base, and somebody can make excuses for what happened and try to switch it around. And to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't make a difference what anybody says. What's going to be is what's going to be. You stand up for what you have to defend, what you love and protect. Somebody broke in my house. I have cameras all around my house. Okay? Along with some other things, legally. But somebody broke in my house. Do you think I'm going to have information? I have proof. My cameras see them breaking into my windows or whatever, and I have proof, but I'm just not going to submit that proof. If my excuse is I'd rather get them myself, because if they go to jail, then I can't get my hands on them. So do I want justice, or am I trying to just take things into my own hand, knowing it's not going to work out the way it's supposed to? Right? Because now you broke into my house, but now I'm in jail because I found you and I did something real bad to you to punish you, right? Now, it's a little bit different with my next comparison, but listen, I have people still talking about Deontay Wilder. So anytime I mention his name, people like to try to chime in with this bullshit and make excuses for this grown-ass man, right? It's so funny because people try to twist what you're saying or try to undermine it with trying to talk about shit that we already know, but it was no secret. It was something that didn't have play a role, a factor at all in the decision being overturned or any of that. It was no new news. Okay, you guys remember when Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought the first time? At the end of that fight, they embraced, they took pictures together, they hugged it out, they complimented each other after the fight on separate interviews and everything. This is what happens with the best fight the best. And Deontay Wilder referred to Tyson Fury as the Undertaker. Like he rose from the dead. Man, he was knocked out and he sat up. The big thing in that fight was, for Wilder fans, they was pissed because the fact that he fell back like that, the ref should have waved it off. There's no rule, no law that said that he had to. And he didn't. Okay? No different from Luis Ortiz rocks Deontay Wilder and throw like 20 plus unanswered punches, and Wilder's rolling all over the ring. He's losing his balance. He's stumbling. The ref could have stepped in and waved that off. He could have, but he didn't. But that's different, right? Also, the very next round, right before the bell, the referee walks over. Doctor comes up on the apron. Whatever. What are they talking to Deontay for? What is that 20-second or whatever, 30, whatever? Why are they talking to him, checking on him? He's not bleeding. He's not cut. Now, you tell me if that was shoe on the other foot, that wouldn't have been a factor. That wouldn't have been something that they brought up. That why was okay. Say if it was Luis Ortiz instead. Yo, Wilder had this dude rolling all over the ring. Yo, and they're gonna stop to talk to Luis Ortiz for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, or whatever it was, to like help him get his head clear. That's what he was doing. But because it was Wilder, the Wilder fans are not saying that. Okay? Like I said, we talked about this before. Wilder's interviewed and even referred to that and said, all them little few seconds, they ain't enough for somebody to clear their head. Well, why was it a few seconds enough for Fury to clear his head and get up then? Because that was the claim. Am I lying? Am I fucking lying? Oh, he gave him a 16 second count. He gave him a 12-second count. First of all, let me correct you all. There's no such thing as a 10-second count. It's a 10 count. Okay? If you sit here and held up a stopwatch and watch 10 seconds go by, most referees count like this. 1, 2, 3. That's how most of them count. Have you ever seen a referee go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? No, they don't count fast like that. It's a 10 count, not a 10-second count. Okay? In that same fight, the third fight, if you remember, Wilder said the referee let Tyson Fury do whatever he wanted. He did nothing. But he actually deducted a point from Fury in that fight. And you notice Wilder fans never bring that up. They always overlook all of that. Right? All of that. They never bring that up. That's a lie. He did deduct a point from him. Okay. Now let's go back. Nothing was said about a floppy glove. Nothing was said about anything. An egg weight. Nothing. None of this stuff until after the second fight. Dante's Boxing Nation was the first channel to make some news about that and started bringing up things about the first fight. Then 7-8 Sports chimed in. Boxing Ego chimed in. Fanon chimed in. And some others. And they all were saying the same things. Then all of a sudden, Wilder takes a hiatus. He comes back to say what? In his little cryptic video. The same exact things that were already said. The same exact things. Now remember, after his brother said, after the autopsy, that was his brother's words, after the autopsy, it was revealed that Wilder had a dent in his head. You know where the egg weight story came from? The egg weight story came from Tyson Fury was supposedly having a sparring match with someone, and after the sparring match, when he was putting in his clothes in his bag or whatever, then an egg weight fell out of his bag or whatever. So now the assumption, and said that the doctor said that he was hit in the head with something the shape of an egg weight. Okay, so when it was this egg weight situation, that was the second fight. But the crazy part about it is people was convinced they were connecting and crossing the stories. The first fight was a floppy glove. And basically they were saying there was no padding in the glove because you can see knuckle prints. You can see knuckle prints in horsehair gloves when they get wet and soaked. Yeah, and I have gloves. I have like so many pairs of gloves, and I even showed a demonstration of how your wrist can move. And do you know how many fighters you've seen, especially like the Ali days and all that, where then they wear those horsehair gloves, and they were a lot more popular back then. How the glove looks so floppy and everything. But when people watch it, that's Deontay Wilder fan. No, it's different though. It's different, right? It's different because you want it to be different. Now, in terms of dirty tactics, like for Tyson Fury to have where you can see this part of his hand, his palm, okay? First off, that will be extremely stupid on his behalf, and it will be extremely dangerous because you can easily break your wrist that way. Not to mention, you can't get any power behind it. It wasn't his right hand, it was his left hand, right? That was the floppy glove shit. That was his lead hand that he was throwing. And I even seen some pictures where it was slowed down, where he's punching and you can see like this hitting his face instead of this. Well, my question was, you mean to tell me that a grown-ass man standing right across from him fighting him, you don't see this? The referee didn't see it? Nobody in his corner saw it? Just Dante and Boxing Ego and all these guys, they're the only ones that saw this and noticed it? But it wasn't a situation until after the second fight. That's when it was a situation. The second fight. That's when now they're complaining about the first fight. And I noticed this, I noticed that. Right? You mean to tell me that Deontay Wilder was getting punched in his head and his face and he didn't notice anything different? Why this man didn't, ref, check his gloves? He don't have padding in his gloves or something's in his glove. Nothing. There was no problem. The second fight, okay, that's the egg weight situation. So basically, you mean to tell me this man had an egg weight and it just stood perfectly still under his hand wraps, even when his hands are sweaty and moving around, and you couldn't see the bulge from a fucking egg weight in his glove? That's what you're saying. And you can see knuckle prints, but not the print of an egg weight. Okay. Not to mention, at the end of that fight, the gloves come off, so where was the egg weight? Was it invisible? I've never, and I never will say Tyson Fury is above cheating. Anybody knows I'm sick of Tyson Fury's voice, looking at him, hearing him talk, he's full of shit. So I never once ever said Tyson Fury wouldn't cheat. Okay? Listen to the fucking words. Now, do I believe all that shit about him having an egg with all this stuff happening right in the ring? Nobody sees it, but it happened. No, I don't believe that shit. No, I don't believe that shit. The problem and the burden of proof is not on the person saying I don't believe it. It's the burden of proof is on the person making the claims. You don't win court cases by claims. Somebody can break in your home and you can assume it's somebody, you could be 110% right that it was them, but you didn't see it. So accusations, okay, the judge makes it, they determine what they think. They have the final say so. Can the judge be 100% wrong? Yes. Can the judge be deliberate? Yes. Here's the thing though. Do you guys remember? I don't remember the guy's name, but he was speaking on behalf of Deontay Wilder. And he sat there, and this was on Counterpunch Boxing's news. I forget the guy name, but the Counterpunch Boxing, the guy that his channel, he's the one that interviewed this guy. That guy sat there and lied and told everybody some things that wasn't even true. I'll give you an example. He lied when the guy asked him about the costume being too heavy. Champ never said that. People misconstrued that. The champ never said that. And all of the minions that watched that interview sat there and said the same thing. They repeated what that guy said. Wilder never said that. That's a lie. I remember sitting there listening to the interview. It wasn't a video interview. It was like an audio of the interview. And you can hear Deontay Wilder. They asked him the question. He said, well, because remember when Deontay Wilder said, he said, there were some things that went in the ring, other things that I can't speak on right now, but it's just some other things. And she was saying, the interview was saying, like, I mean, in the ring, or like, was it like his skill set or something to that effect? Just things about maybe like 15 minutes before I came to the ring. And he didn't elaborate on that in the ring, right? The interview that he had, he said, well, I ain't had no legs when I came in the ring because the ring walk was a long ring walk and my outfit was about 45 pounds. And so I ain't had no legs when I got to the ring. And all I heard was that wasn't true. Aries, you're making this up. Oh, people just hating on Wilder. Stephen A. addressed it. Max Kellerman addressed it. And I don't care for them either, with their opinions and how they all over the place with shit in the favoritism. I don't do the ass kissing thing. So even for people that agree with me, if you're an ass kisser, believe me, the majority of the times I won't agree with your ideals because you're doing things as a fanboy or trying to pump something up as an analyst, where me, I'm just a straight shooter. I don't get into all that other bullshit. So, oh, he never said it. All of a sudden, you couldn't find that video anywhere. And I think it was either early last year or the year before. I saw it in my archives. Oh, that video, that audio resurfaced. Yeah, and the same thing I'm doing now, reiterating, is what I did. And when I played it, it was so funny because it was like, yeah, where all the fucking fanboys at now that denied this shit? Why y'all so quiet like y'all always are? And you clearly heard what Wilder said. The problem with most of you is this. When you hear something and it sounds ridiculous to you because maybe you didn't hear it when it actually happened, oh, please, nobody would do that. Nah, he wouldn't say that. Right, so you agree with me. And whoever else that's saying that's completely stupid. That's a coward's move. That's some sucker shit, right? But then when you find out it's true, it's like, yeah, but, well, all I know, no, that's the problem. You can't address the truth. You have to try to just undermine something to try to point something else to bring it up like that was more important than this. That was nothing. No, it is something. Because for one, nobody told him to fucking go get that goofy ass outfit. Two, the fact that he did it, okay, he wore it, he put it on, he know what it felt like before he wore it. And you mean to tell me a world-class boxer, the Bronze Bomber, a fucking 45-pound fucking outfit is too much for him? Man, we jog up hills for miles with fucking 50-pound vests on. And you gonna tell me that a 45 fucking pound vest wore your legs out just from a fucking ring walk? But because that's the fighter you like, we're supposed, oh, okay, yeah, sounds like bullshit to me. But guess what? I don't care about that. The reality is, all the excuses that was being made, again, none of it overturns the decision. Two, if you knew, and like he said, we knew what time it was with Fury from the very beginning. Before we even got in the ring with him, we so wait. So you're telling me that you could have fought AJ, Fury could have fought AJ, but y'all tried to freeze AJ out, and y'all verbally agreed to 3 fights. It was even said by Hearn and even not Hearn, what's his name? By Warren and even Aram about you guys agreed to a 3-fight deal. Where was it in paper that you had a 3-fight deal? No, it was a verbal agreement. Verbal. And I'm gonna get back to that in a second. The verbal agreement. Okay. Now, you mean to tell me that this man knows something's going on, but he's not going to say anything about it? He's just going to sit there and allow this man to cheat. But he's aware that he's cheating. Or he's such a baby that he needs someone to lead him by the hand and let him know what's happening because nobody in his team knew nothing. Okay. Now, after the second fight, and now they start talking about an egg weight, autopsy, all this bullshit. Now they have bad blood. Remember, Wilder sent the tweet, made a tweet saying something about that I'm a man of my word. And I told you that after the first fight was a draw, that we'd do it again. And we talked about that and we agreed. Now, Wilder was giving him the title shot. Now he beats Wilder, right? Well, they initially, before that, said that they agreed to a 3-fight deal in between the first and the second fight. But things got sour after the second fight. Now, let's get this straight, because this is another fucking fallacy and a lie that you guys are telling. First of all, when you hear me say Wilder had no fucking proof of the shit he was saying, that's a fucking fact. One, that floppy glove shit y'all keep bringing up, out of all the allegations he made, that's all the fuck y'all resort to is floppy glove. And you're also admitting the fact that Wilder's a lousy fucking fighter because you telling me that a man beat you with one hand and all he did was through his fucking right hand, clubbed you, pushed you back, but his hand is not completely in the fucking glove. I guarantee you, not one of you making that claim will put a fucking pair of boxing gloves and put your hands halfway in them and feel comfortable fighting someone that got their hands in the gloves already. I guarantee you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. And I can tell you can't fight. And I can tell that you don't know shit about gloves in general and how they fit in the point. Why do you think that they wrap the wrists of your gloves? You think that's for style? Is to match other colors in your outfit? Listen to this. He had no proof. Okay, he had no proof. As I said, y'all keep alluding to that floppy glove to avoid answering the rest of this shit. He did not prove shit in court. Okay? Verbal agreement. There's states where listen, just you, proof of you saying, I agree, I accept. In boxing, that can be a lawsuit. Yeah, you can lose just for giving your word. Okay? Wilder was trying to get the third fight. Or if he going to either properly compensate me or we going to have the third fight. Initially, it wasn't for a third fight. I covered the shit. I remember the conversations. I'm bringing the fucking news. You motherfuckers like to twist shit up in your head and make it to be something different. Do you guys not remember the interview that Fury had? And it was around, I don't remember if it was the exact same interview, but it was around that same time when he was saying, I ain't fighting nobody unless I get a boatload of money. And that was the fact that he was supposed to be fighting AJ for Undisputed. You guys don't remember that shit? Do you not remember him in an interview saying, The interviewer said that he has the option to fight Anthony Joshua or Wilder. The thing with Wilder is saying he could step aside, but they're going to pay me. And I don't remember the exact amount because I heard 22 million, 26 million, 28 million. I heard all these different amounts of money that Wilder was saying. He paid me this, then him and AJ can have their fight. Then it turned from wanting compensation to, well, I want the third fight or the money. And I remember Fury clearly saying, and Bob Arum even said it. He said he could fight Anthony Joshua or he could fight Deontay Wilder. Now, if Wilder wants to step aside, he's gonna have to pay him. I remember this shit, so I don't know where y'all be getting this fucking cereal box information from. But he clearly said he could fight him or he could fight Wilder. He's not contracted to fight. And Mauricio Sulaiman said Wilder and Fury are not contracted to fight each other. Fury could fight AJ if he wants to. Now, the verbal agreement and whatever, because let's be real, there was no full disclosure about what happened at arbitration. Neither one of these sides talked about it. And if you remember, the very fucking day that Fury stood up with that piece of paper in front of the camera, I was like, I got some good news from the Saudi. It's official. The Gypsy King versus Anthony Joshua. The very next day, nope. You're fighting Wilder. You don't think that Fury knew what was going to happen? You don't think that he knew that? He knows what went on in court, but let's understand something. For Wilder, and the guy that was talking and said, we got all this information. We're going to wait till after the third fight. We're going to beat this motherfucker and then get this dirty motherfucker out the sport. We got all this information. What information? And I'm saying if they had information, they would already did that. Wilder's excuse was, why would I go to the police when I can get revenge on my own? If he go to jail, I can't get my revenge. And it's like, okay, he's saying all this shit, and that alone. Now, to the fanboys, that might have sound good, but to somebody that have common sense, you know he got nothing. And the whole entire time, I'm like, he has nothing. He proved it. Okay? And what did Wilder say? What did Wilder say after the third fight? In that interview, when he was standing up there and he said, well, I know when he said he's going to his grave knowing that Fury cheated. Do you remember what he said? Wilder said, I know he cheated. I know he cheated. I'm going to go to my grave, my heart knowing that. But when you don't have proof, it's hard to convince people when you don't have proof. That was Wilder's fucking words, not Aries. If you have proof, you don't have to believe shit or I know. No, proof is proof. Let me give you an example, right? Okay, you can't see it, but I can sit here and tell you I have a photo album sitting right here. Then I can pull up proof, photo album. Okay, that's what's in here. If I say I have a photo album sitting there, you don't know that. But what is that to lie about, right? You don't know that. This is proof. That's proof. I'm showing you. You think that this man, because remember, we were supposed to hear from that doctor. See how y'all forget shit that y'all want to. We never heard from that doctor that claimed that Fury put a dent in Wilder's head with an egg weight. Something the shape of an egg weight. And because of the sparring match where it was rumored that an egg weight fell out of Fury's bag or whatever, that's where all this shit, they started tying all this together. Wilder knew it's better for him for people to believe the only reason Fury won is because he cheated than to just say, hey, the better man won. Which, after the second fight, he said, you know, basically after all the allegations, let's get this straight. The allegations that we're talking about ain't no fucking bullshit floppy fucking glove. First off, let's get that fucking straight. Y'all on some petty shit. Was that some dirty shit? If he's able to do that and they're too fucking dumb, ref, look at his glove. Huh? He didn't go after the commission. He didn't go after the referee. All he did was lie on the referee and said that the referee was showing favoritism towards Fury. He let Fury do whatever he wanted. But he never mentioned the fact that Fury, he took a point from Fury, which was a lie, that referee was letting Fury do what he wanted. He was warning both of them. 2, okay, he can say that he didn't show favoritism to me. We both black, and he favored the white guy. He can say some shit like that, which doesn't matter, because that's not his job. His job is to call it down the middle. But my point is, and him saying all of that shit, right? This is criminal charges we talking about. We're not talking about no fucking, oh, we find you guilty of attempted manslaughter. He accused Mark Breland as being an agent. I seen him taking pictures with him. He never, remember that. And somebody put a bullshit picture up of Mark Breland standing next to Tyson Fury, which we don't know and don't care. The picture could have been old for all we knew. We don't know how old that picture was, but regardless, he was basically saying that Mark Breland was an agent for Tyson Fury and poisoned his water. Did anything come back in his fucking test that he had something in his system? No. No proof. Did an egg weight fall out of his fucking glove? Did this man, do you know you can break your fucking hand like that? You have a fucking, that's metal against your flesh and bone. And this man has this wrapped in his glove. I mean, we know Margarito put the plaster in his shit, but they layer the wrappings, so it's not on your hand directly. And that's why when you see that shit real thick, it's like you need to check. Because, yeah, they can slide some shit in there, right? And then you put the wrappings from finger to finger, go over finger. That's how they do to keep that shit straight. That's what he was trying to do. And I seen Richardson caught that shit when he was about to fight Shane, right? He caught that shit. So the excuse, well, JD is not really experienced. Okay, there's many things on this earth that I don't have experience in, but my common sense, I bet you I could spot some shit that shouldn't be happening. Let's not be stupid. And here's the thing. He kept JD's, who sat there and watched the hands get wrapped, right? But he fired Mark Breland. He put the heebie-jeebies or the hooju or whatever he called it. Yeah, they put something in my drink. And they alluded that shit to Mark Breland. Now, what proof? A dent in my head, all this shit. What proof does he have that Fury did anything to him? What proof does he have that Mark Breland did anything to him? These are criminal charges. You don't go to court. For all the fucking half-wits, you don't go to court and look, this man tried to kill me. This has nothing to do with a fight. Okay, we find you, Tyson Fury, guilty of manslaughter. So we are attempted manslaughter and poisoning. We're sanctioning you to have to fight Fury, Wilder one more time. That's what you think happened? Y'all think he went and proved that Fury cheated and that's how he got the third fight? Do y'all really actually see the logic in that? No, that verbal agreement and him not wanting to fight Wilder the third time, or not wanting to pay him just for step aside money, he'd rather fight him. And like he said, I ain't giving him one brown penny. He said if he's gonna get anything from me, he's gonna earn it in the ring. So no, he wasn't forced, which is, and they started saying this shit. No, he wasn't forced to fight Wilder. He chose to fight Wilder. He already beat him twice. He knows he can fucking beat him. Because we know how that third fight went. But he knows he can beat him. And that's the thing. Wilder can't beat Fury. So you didn't get justice either way. And at least to bring this shit to the light, you see what Miguel Cotto did? He sat there with the plaster in his hand. He talked about it and said, we don't know how many times he might have done this in the past. Margarito. And that's the thing. So did he have his hands plastered when he fought me? I believe so, but I can't prove it. But we know that he's dirty and he tried to do this to Shane Mosley and all, right? All of this shit. Same way with Clarissa Shields and Hannah Gabriel's right now. People talking that shit, oh man, Clarissa hating. Why Clarissa got to say all, because you guys hate Clarissa and you a bunch of fucking Hannah Gabriel's fucking fanboys. That's why. She don't have the, listen, that I put cream on my dog shit might have been true. Maybe she did really put cream on her dog, medication. I ain't knocking that. Does that prove that that's what was in her system? No. So until we hear anything from VADA and what they determined, we don't know what was what. But again, how the fuck you going to knock her? Knock Clarissa for saying what she's saying about Hannah Gabriel's when how many people believe Conor Ben with the 30 eggs? Now, the truth is, it sounds like bullshit to me. that you put some cream, how you put it on your whole fucking hand? Usually if you put in cream, you use like these two fingers right here, right? One finger or two. Who the fuck, you put cream in your whole goddamn hand? No. You're putting, it's a puppy. So she's putting the cream on a wound. Wouldn't you have common sense to put gloves on? I wouldn't touch a wound on a human being or an animal with my bare hands. Whether I'm fighting or not. It's just common sense. So the excuse, that's what it sounds like to me, an excuse. Can I prove that? No. But I don't believe the fucking putting cream on the dog bullshit is what is in your system. That's what, I don't believe that shit. Now, I'm saying, yeah, I believe that she obviously had medication. She said this, so Vada can prove that, yeah, she had medication that she was putting on her dog, yes. But in turn, and she failed 2 tests, not just 1. See, nobody's bringing up the fact that she failed 2 tests. Huh? It's like Jarrell Miller failed not 1, not 2, but 3. Connor failed 2. You understand what I'm saying? So all of a sudden now, Hannah Gabriels is innocent because you're attracted to her. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh no. Yeah. Making excuses for her. So like I said, I'm not there to know, so I don't know for sure. But I believe this. I'll give her that she put cream on her dog situation. But for that shit to be in your system, and you fail not 1 but 2 tests, I mean, goddamn, how many times a day you putting cream on your dog? Just saying, sound like bullshit to me. Why am I not digging into it too much? Because I don't know. And I can say there's times where a person can look 110% guilty and it be some simple shit that nobody's thinking about and that person is actually innocent. People go to jail every year for some shit they didn't do. 35 fucking years later, they're released. They're found innocent of the crime they was convicted of 35 years ago. So yeah, shit can happen. But as a fighter, you gotta be smarter than that. And as a human being, I mean, if you went to the doctor and you had a cut and the doctor was about to put cream on you, they don't touch open wounds with their foot. Like, are you kidding me? Just saying. So it sounds like bullshit to me. Wilder situation, and let me make this clear. Again, I never once said I don't think Fury's a cheater. I said Wilder has no proof. He can't prove shit. So why is he pretending he has proof? And the more he talks about it, it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, where's this proof, Wilder? We kept waiting for this proof and it never came up. And he finally admitted out of his own mouth, he said, I'm going to go to my grave knowing Fury cheated. But when you don't have proof, it's hard to convince people when you don't have proof. That's Wilder's words. That is Wilder's words. Not Aries. Not anybody other boxing champ. That's his own words. He doesn't have proof. Isn't that what the fuck I said? He doesn't have proof. You talking about a floppy fucking glove. What about the poisoned water? Yeah. What about the poisoned fucking water? What about the egg with the glove with no fucking padding? And you mean to tell me at the end of that fight, you thought that this man had no pad in his glove and you don't have common sense to say, hey, I want his glove investigated. He got no pad, nothing. No padding in his glove. I know that shit. The punches feel different. I can feel his knuckles. We would box and didn't give a fuck because we was too ignorant to understand. We used to use gloves where the padding was like thin, man. It was like damn near like using bad gloves. We just love to fight so much, we didn't give a fuck. Because we ain't know no fucking better. And you realize like, nah, man, you can really kill somebody in this shit, man. Like, you know, you got to be smarter. You know, you get older, you get wiser. Like, you know, just because we did that shit don't mean it was smart. It was fucking stupid. But we, like I said, we was ignorant as fuck with that. We didn't know any better. We didn't care. Everybody, you understand what I'm saying? Well, to top it all off, Wilder sees Tyson Fury. He see him over there in Saudi. Fury yells, "Bomb squad!" Wilder starts smiling. He's walking, makes a beeline to come over to Fury, gives him a hug, stuff it. Wait, Anthony Joshua did nothing to you. You hate Anthony Joshua. You hate Eddie Hearn, who's done nothing to you. Y'all jumped Dominic Brazil. You and your crew jumped Dominic Brazil. That man was with his wife and kid. You talk all this, I'm a righteous man, I'm a man of God, but you jumped a man that was by himself other than his wife and kid. But this man, Tyson Fury, according to you, tried to take your life. And Dante, Boxing Eagle, Fanon, 78 Sports, all these other channels agree. That's attempted murder. Fury tried to take your life according to you. And the only thing you could find in your heart is to fucking smile and hug this motherfucker. If I thought somebody tried to kill me, it wouldn't be good for me to see him. I don't care where we were. And then the sucker move was not only that, it was a sucker move that you hugged him. But the real sucker move, even or equally as bad, is after that, you did another interview and said you can't stand him and know he's a cheater, and you only did that because y'all was in Saudi trying to have a good time. Man, you could have walked right past that motherfucker, gave him the middle finger, or let him know, motherfucker, if we wasn't in Saudi right now, whatever. You didn't have to say nothing. You could have just went on about your business. How the fuck you gonna hug somebody? Smile at them, tap your heart. That's love. That's what that means. That's love. That's what that means. And then talk shit. And then remember in the press conference, Wilder sat there the whole time and wouldn't say a word to Tyson Fury. Wouldn't say nothing to the fans. Just sat there. Malik Scott talked for him. But he had all that shit to say, all the accusations, talk about how he gonna beat Fury within inches of his life. He wanna kill somebody in the ring. He gonna do this to Fury. All that. Malik Scott reiterates all that shit. Yeah, bring it up. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. He went in there, and just like the first fight, he managed to get 2 knockdowns, but pretty much got beat the fuck up and got knocked out. So where was the justice? So you're telling me Deontay Wilder had proof, but he just didn't want to present the proof. Because when you say he proved it in court, no, he didn't prove shit in court. We're not talking about trying to win a fucking fight, idiots. Like Dillian White trying to get more money, right? He was offered $5 million, and they said that he don't even deserve that, right? Frank Warren and Tyson Fury. But then he wound up getting 8 because they wasn't giving him what he deserved as the mandatory challenger. I forget the percentage of what it was, but they was trying to give him less than that. And he was like, no, he's entitled to more than 5. And he wound up getting 8. Okay? That's not criminal charges. You don't go to that kind of court for that shit, man. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Did y'all listen to yourselves? So when you're saying he cheated, listen. Accusations. Okay? Accusations. Like I had somebody telling me Jordan only had 5 rings. And because remember, he dipped, man. I'm like, I'm just like, listen, we ain't gonna say and talk about it. I'm about to enjoy my dinner. Shut the fuck up. Talk about something else. I'm sorry, no, Ari, I'm just saying, man. You know. You got a phone? Google that shit. Google that shit, and all of a sudden, oh shit, yo, I swear to God, well, he got one with the Wizards. I'm just sitting there eating my food. We all just, I don't care that much. I really don't care at all. But your opinion was that he had 5. That's what you thought. The fact is he had 6. Simple. So your opinions are not facts. Now, do I think Fury do dirty tactics and did different fighters? You remember how Bernard Hopkins would grab you and kind of like, the ref was on the other side, he hitting you with the other hand and tying your arm up. Yeah. You hear people you hear commentators say, if I was this guy, I'd do some dirty boxing, man. You got to put a little elbow in there. You've heard commentators say that shit. Mix it up. You might get a point taken away, but at least you're going to let him know you mean business and take him out of his comfort zone. Why? Because they see a guy's completely getting outclassed and really have no chance other than getting lucky. Landing a lucky punch or something. And you hear commentators even say that dumb shit about dirty boxing, mixing it up and shit like that. So if you want to say that, yeah. But in terms of all this, my water was poisoned, what proof did he have of that? So basically, Tyson Fury knows magic, and so does Mark Breland. Because we going to give you something that's going to somehow get out your system before it's time for them to test you again. He felt weak. He felt this. It was his costume. No, he never said that. I played the audio of it rather, and all of a sudden everybody shuts the fuck up, tuck their tail and run because damn, Aries was right. When the fuck do y'all understand? To say He has no fucking proof. Just to have him say, I know he did it, but it's hard to convince people when you have no proof, means he has no fucking proof. Like I said, he didn't. And my whole point was, there's no reason for him to not present this proof if he had it. These are criminal charges we're talking about. If I'm fighting a motherfucker and I can scrap and my punch is like a fucking mule kick, either hand, right or left, and I see all of a sudden the motherfucking knuckles look extra, abnormal. Yo, this motherfucker got brass knuckles on. Okay, cool. My knife coming out. Something coming out. Why? For one, it's not easy to hit me. And even though I can take a hell of a fucking shot, you're looking for an advantage. So you wearing brass knuckles is not trying to win a fight. You're trying to take my life. That's how the fuck I would take it. Now, mind you, we talking street fighting, right? So if I'm in the ring, it's even worse. Why? Because in the streets, this ain't about winning and losing in the streets. It's about survival. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, you wind up taking somebody's life out in the street intentionally. You understand? So in the ring, it's not what it's about. It's about win or lose. It's a legacy. Street fighting, I didn't do no damn legacy. You understand what I mean? So that's criminal activity. That's why fighting in the street is illegal. That's why you get locked up for the shit. So you want to tell me in a ring where a fight is sanctioned and there's rules, and y'all talking about, the sanctioning bodies didn't do nothing about it. They just let Fury, like, here y'all go with this fucking master. You use the boss, master. Y'all do it, the master. We got to follow y'all rules, master. Whatever y'all say, because I guarantee you, if that would have been my black ass, it would have went down completely different during that fight. There's no way I can sit there and find it in myself to tell the world this man cheated and he did this and he did that. And I'm naming all this shit that I think he did. But I didn't say that nothing in the ring. Remember Panama Lewis was in Aaron Pryor's corner. Give me that bottle. No, not that one. The one I mixed. You could hear that shit loud and clear. Not that one. The one I mixed. Let Panama Lewis tell the story. He ain't do nothing wrong. All I gave him was something that you shouldn't have gave him, because the only fucking thing supposed to be in that bottle is water. That would be like you watching the NFL or the NBA play ball. One team has water, the other team has Gatorade. Yeah. No. Nothing's supposed to be in that bottle but water. Simple. And you heard Panama Lewis say that shit. So you know he put something in it. He said, not that one. The one that I mixed. Isn't that self-exclamatory? It's not just water. I put something in the water. Okay? He wound up admitting years later, like, yeah, but I forgot what he said he put in there. But what he said he put in there shouldn't even been in there. That's the whole point. So when you say that I have proof, okay, show it. Simple. You don't go to work. You need a doctor's note. If you went to the fucking doctor and say you lost your note, you can get another one. You can get another doctor's note. They have proof. They know that you was there. Why call out and say, I'm calling out sick. I'm coming in with a doctor's note. But you never went to the doctor. The doctor's not going to fucking put their job on the line and lie for you, write a doctor's note, and then all of a sudden, well, if they do, they're stupid. And you come in with a damn doctor's note knowing you haven't been to the doctor? Or what if you forge a doctor's note? Huh? Just saying. So proof is proof. You have to submit it. Otherwise, until there's proof, you're just making a claim. So when I say he has no proof and then he end up admitting he has no proof, how the fuck are you you're not arguing with me. I don't argue anyway. You're arguing with him. Only thing is, I said he had no proof way before he did. And it's simply based on his actions alone. And his words. And the people around him that kept talking for him. And if you remember, this one guy, and this was like way after that, the initial fight and all the other allegations. And this guy was talking to Mauricio Suleiman on behalf of Deontay Wilder. He was asking questions about, how come you went to go see Tyson Fury in his dressing room, but you didn't come in Wilder's dressing room? And how come they cut the camera off in the dressing room? He's asking all these questions. And Mauricio Suleiman, y'all know how he's another snake. But check this out. You remember the guy said, he asked Mauricio Sulaiman about where's the gloves from the first fight. And Mauricio said, I don't know where those gloves are. I don't have any. I know where they are. He said they're in Tyson Fury's living room. Remember that? Okay. So you mean to tell me that for some reason Wilder just and his team, nobody noticed nothing in any fight. Nobody. But after a content creator says something wasn't right and noticed this and noticed that and putting little red circles on the screen around gloves and all that, all of a sudden now, that's what actually happened. It explains why all of a sudden he can beat him. See? And remember what everybody said before the third fight? Fury's scared because he knows now everybody's watching and he can't cheat in the third fight. But the same guy that y'all said, it made sense now why he was able to hurt Wilder, because Fury's pillow fisted. He can't punch. And I'm telling you guys, the motherfucker is sitting down in his punches now and he's getting his weight behind his shots. But then what happened in the third fight? He knocked him the fuck out. It wasn't about a towel being thrown in. He got knocked out. And Wilder ends up saying last year sometime Fury cheated in all three. Right before he said that he cheated in all three fights. And remember at the end of the fight he said, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. So you told him you don't respect him, right? So that means when Fury saw you and he was bomb squad, he was playing you like a little bitch. Because he know you don't like him, but he gonna fuck with you and you gonna smile and go hug him. And how the fuck can you respect that? Man, your ops is your ops. There's people who I have fist fights with, beat the fuck out of them. They'll see me right now, come give me a hug. Why? Because they know that they fucked up. That was their shit. I was defending myself. But there's people who I'm not necessarily, feel like I'm going to do something to them when I see them. Even certain things people apologize for, depending on what it was. It's like, yeah, I got you. Now beat it. Because even though the apology was there, the trust isn't. You understand what I'm saying? And my thing is, I don't speak on those situations. So if I squash a situation, it's squashed. We don't talk about, whatever happened, man, that ain't about nothing, man. That's old news. We ain't bringing none of that shit up. Because now, if I squashed it and I'm talking about it, now, why am I bringing it up? Now, we're talking off camera. So imagine when you say you squashed something, but you get in front of a camera and start talking shit. Then it's not squashed. You're not even being real. Otherwise, you let it go. When something's done, it's done. It's over with. We don't even need to talk about that. Talk about something else. That's what grown-ups is supposed to do. So all that talk about Fury showed proof in court. What the fuck are you talking about? If he showed proof in court, Tyson Fury would be in jail for attempted manslaughter. Are you kidding me? And I'm sitting here like, man, why am I even responding back to this dumb shit? But I'm like, nah, I'm going to talk about this. Because there's too much shit to actually sit here and text motherfuckers about. But y'all be killing me with these stupid ass comments. I said he don't have no fucking proof. He said he doesn't have any proof. Which means he had no fucking proof. And if he had proof, common sense, Fury's bald-headed ass would be in prison. So all the shit that y'all was saying, it's funny how y'all try to forget it and act like y'all didn't say this shit or like it never happened. So now all of a sudden Fury cheated in 1, 2, and the third fight. According to Wilder, he cheated in all 3 fights. Okay, cool. It ain't taking the losses off his record. Fury's not going to jail, just like I said he wasn't. And Wilder have yet to submit proof because he never had any proof. He strongly believed, psyched himself to believe what Dante and all these other channels was making and saying about him in his own defense. That's where that shit came. That shit ain't come from Deontay fucking Wilder. Wilder waited all that time to just repeat what was said already? Are you kidding me? So no, he never had any fucking proof. And all of the people, and the example that I was making was that since the Wilder and Fury situation, this was the craziest situation I've seen since then, where they started this Lomachenko, Justice for Lomachenko channel. And that's what it was, the comparison. But people, the video wasn't about Deontay Wilder and Fury. But as an example, that's what I was saying in terms of how I haven't seen this shit, something like this, since the Wilder and Fury situation. So people want to chime in and start, but he proved it in court. No, he ain't proved nothing in fucking court. Motherfucker, we saw the floppy glove. What the fuck are you talking about? Like I said, his water was poisoned, right? According to him. But nothing came up in his system. So everybody's just plotting against Wilder. No egg weight was found. No glove with the pattern taken out. None of that, all that shit. What did Fury go back in the dressing room and take his gloves off? No, he took them off in the fucking ring. Did an egg weight fall out of his fucking glove? Remember, when they was going back from the corner, coming into the center of the ring, and something fell, and JD's grabbed that shit off the apron. And now, you tell me if that wouldn't have been Fury's side. That people would have been like, you don't think they'd have been putting a little red circle around it trying to point out something? You could see a white substance fall, and you could see JD's whoever, grab whatever Tyson Fury trying to grab it, and yeah. Now I remember people saying it looked like cotton. Probably was a little cotton swab. Could have been, or whatever it was. Could have been. But my point is, they was trying to attack everything. Even why did the camera go off? All kinds of stupid shit. And it's like, okay, y'all saying all of that, but the whole time that this shit was going on, JD's was in the ring. And when you have gloves, okay, and they mark those gloves, the commission keep those gloves. You don't get them until fight night. It's not like you get the gloves and take them home and do what you don't get them until fight night. Those gloves are inspected. You put your hand in the gloves, everything. You know what I mean? You kind of pull them, see what they feel like. Okay, yeah, these are good. Yeah, these are cool. All right, we'll accept those. So why wasn't JD's fired? Why was Mark Breland fired? Because what you saying is, even though you were poisoned, it just didn't show up in your system because they gave you some magic poison. Two, JD was there, which means he approved those gloves that Fury wore, but you didn't fire him. Now, do you really fucking think that if Wilder believed that those gloves had no padding in them? See, because JD's wouldn't know about, well, he would have to know about an egg weight because he would be sitting there watching their hands get wrapped and everything. How much fucking experience you have to watch some fucking hand wraps get wrapped? You watch a person's hands get wrapped. Somehow they just slipped the egg weight in and he didn't see it. But he definitely checked the gloves himself. Okay? They don't touch the fighting hand wraps, but they looking, okay, yeah. That's what you watching for. They didn't have that much experience. Motherfucking Ryan Garcia had his fucking brother in the ring and back in Tank's fucking corner in his dressing room watching Tank get his hands wrapped. And he's way younger than JD's. So all this, they don't have experience. I mean, the excuses. This is what I'm talking about. Excuses. All these excuses. You don't make accusations that you can't prove. And my whole thing with Wilder the whole time was he need to chill with saying all this shit. Because I got 100,000% feeling belief that he don't have any proof. And he think it's just going to blow away because his minions will forget what he said purposely. But in general, nah. That is making him look bad. MMA guys, everybody, they were all laughing at him, making fun of him. And I'm like, he keep bringing this shit up about cheating, but he has no proof. After he said he had proof, the people speaking for him first said he had proof. And I can't remember that dude's name, like I said, but I remember him. We going to wait till after the third fight. We going to get this dirty motherfucker up out the sport. We going to prove all this shit. We got all the proof we need. That's what he said. We got all the proof we need. Where is it? What happened to it? So all the people that was sitting here saying, Aries, he got proof. You wrong. Okay. Now tell Deontay Wilder that he has proof he's wrong. Because he straight up admitted that shit. Like I said, I just said it way before he did. And it's not hard to see if you got common sense. But that's the blindness of a fucking fanboy. Because you want to believe something. You tell yourself that it's so. Even though you don't see it. I just wanted to get this out. Make this known. Clarissa Shields is fighting tonight. I'm watching that fight, so I ain't really want to talk too much about any other fighters in terms of what's going on right now. Ain't really much going on that I really have interest in. But I wanted to just get this shit out, man, because it's so funny how you go through time after time after time, weeks and months out the year, making videos and covering stories just to have some fucking fanboy try to tell you that you wrong about something that you've been covering. Like, I mean, the most that I'll do, I might make a mistake and say the wrong name, like this dude, Gerald McClellan. For some fucking reason, whenever I'm talking about this dude, I forget his fucking name, and I think I mix him and Milton McCrory's name up for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you know, shit like that. That's just an honest fucking mistake. That's not me sitting here telling you some shit that's false. Like, oh no, it was this guy did that. And no, I don't make lies up for nothing. I don't have to. But yeah, that's about as far as it's gonna go with me, is making a mistake, saying it's something like the wrong name or something. But for me to sit here and deliberately like know something is not true, and nah, I don't do shit like that. I don't make up lies. I have nothing to gain by doing that. I don't know Deontay Wilder personally. I don't know Tyson Fury, or none of them personally. I don't give a fuck about them on a personal level, but at the same time, it's not like I don't like this person. I don't know these motherfuckers, but what I see, the shit that certain people project, is easy to not like a fucking person's character, like, you know, shit like that. So nothing. You hear me get on AJ, you hear me get on the Charlos, you hear me get on Errol Spence or Crawford, whoever, which are fighters that I like as fighters. But then if I'm saying everything 110% in their favor, yeah, Aries, but when I say something that's not in their favor, oh, why you hating? You guys are childish. You need to grow up. What the fuck do I need to hate on anybody for? You're not always, you know, going to make the right decisions when you do certain shit like that, or favorable decisions. Let's put it that way. Because I can't sit up and say what's going on. Like, for example, when I say Anthony Joshua is fighting himself in the ring because his confidence is not where it should be, how the fuck am I hating on Anthony Joshua for giving my fucking opinion? But that's what the fuck I see in Anthony Joshua. That's his biggest problem. He got his cardio up. He showed he can go to 12 rounds. No problem. But his confidence is not there. It's not where it should be. As long as he can control and dictate the pace. But what happens when it starts to get ugly and get gritty? It doesn't have to necessarily be just, you know, like, there's only one Usyk in the division. That's a fact. But, and there's guys, I think Anthony Joshua can beat all those other guys. I don't know about Frank Sanchez. Jared Anderson is on the come up, you know, and I want to see him step his game up. But just saying, there's not like it's a deep pool of fighters out there that AJ got to be like, you know, like there's so much more skillful than him or some shit like that. It's just that Anthony Joshua, his like I say, he fights himself. And Robert Garcia said the same exact thing. Like, he just got to believe in himself. He got crazy power, man. This dude he can crack. But it's like, my point, when you get in there and you're not sure, you're not letting your hands go the way you're supposed to. And if you look at Anthony Joshua, which I did a video comparison of his past fights versus like now, like the difference in his confidence and how his attack was so much more severe. Like, he went after you. He doesn't do that shit anymore. And he said it himself that he's trying to get in the mind frame of hit and not be hit. But the type of skill set that you need to do that, Anthony Joshua is not showing confidence in it. He's always been a boxer puncher. Now he's trying to become a pure boxer. So I'm hating for telling you what I fucking see. Man, we got two middle fingers, and you know, we use them certain ways. I'm not apologetic because I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking what I see. I'm not sitting there just making up shit. I don't make videos just to make a video, but I'm just making up random shit as I'm talking. No, I have a purpose for when I make a video. So if I'm saying what I see in Anthony Joshua, but you such a fanboy that, no, AJ can do no wrong, AJ's perfect. No, there's always something that's going on, and we're speaking on it. And to speak on it, you know, it's like we're connecting with a boxing audience that see the same things or maybe not understand what they're saying. But bottom line, we're communicating. We're giving news. We're giving our intake. Now, if I see a man twerking his ass and talk about he want to experience having a baby, and I'm like, yo, this dude is a nutcase, I'm wrong because I feel a certain way. Yeah, but it's okay for him to say and do that shit. Well, whatever. I'm not catering to people. It's not what I do. So that's the whole thing with what I said and what I was the point I was getting across. And like I said, the video was about Lomachenko and Haney, and the Wilder and Fury comparison was made to make the point of that's the last time that I seen something crazy like that was Fury and Wilder. And you want to know what both of those situations had in common though? There was racial tension going on. It was a race thing. And in that situation, it's crazy because Wilder fans was calling Fury the #2 heavyweight and was calling Wilder the #1. Yet Anthony Joshua was a black man, but they shit it all over him. They didn't consider him black. Yeah, he's a Brit though. Oh, okay, I see. And I notice a difference in the mindsets of people. I get all that. But my point is, it was the same shit. But they was pissed off simply because Fury whooped that ass. And they called him pillow-fisted because Wilder called him pillow-fisted. And everything that was supposed to happen didn't happen. And that's how that shit went. And the whole year and a half, 2 years, or whatever it was that we was covering that fucking story, there was a lot of bullshit going back and forth. So now, here's the crazy part. Now, for all the racist white folks that hear me say, put them on blast and call them out for how the fuck Paulie and people like Paulie was carrying themselves and the shit they was saying about Devin Haney and acting. Ain't it funny how when I acknowledge the fact that people was mad because Fury lost. I mean, because Wilder lost to Fury. And it was for different reasons. And we brought up the race thing and everything. Where was y'all punk asses at then? So don't ever try to play that race shit with me. That's what they try to do. Because you speak on something that other people are scared to say. And we bring these facts up. And I have black people mad at me because I wouldn't jump in and say, nah, man, I think Fury did it because this is... No. The accusations wasn't proved. No. Floppy glove shit, everybody could see what was going on. That's why I said, well, how the fuck we saw it, but Wilder and them, nobody else saw that shit. The accusations, he never had proof for. And that's a fucking fact. And he himself said it. One more time. I know for a fact he did it. I know. Deep down inside, you just know. But, you know, it's hard to convince people when you don't have proof. So y'all are arguing with Wilder and calling him a liar, not Aries. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all in the next video.